I get the bag. They get the bag, have to cut it in half. Stop the comparing, y'all making me laugh. Need to rehab, I'm addicted to cash. You get the bag and fumble it, I get the bag and flip it and tumble it.
Back at it again. This is CJ with the GOAT Sports Talk. Of course, we are talking about Joel Embiid's contract. As you've seen, he got that bag, and he's got that guaranteed paper, unlike they get in the NFL, where they basically have to beg for a contract. You got guys like Dwayne Brown holding out. You got players basically not wanting to play in the preseason because they don't want to get hurt before they sign that big deal. You got situations where you got, Odell Beckham Jr., who's out there busting his butt for the team, the number one player, on his squad. They need him just to try and even compete to win games. He's looking for a big contract, wants to be the highest paid wide receiver, one of the highest paid players in the league. And what happens? Snap, crackle, pop, his ankle goes out. So what this situation is with Joel Embiid and his contract, it says here that the deal protects 76ers in case of contractually specific injury. So they put some language in there that was allowed to protect themselves in the event that he suffers a catastrophic injury. So we're going to go ahead and read this little bit. It says here, 76ers center Joel Embiid, 5-year, $146.5 million maximum extension is essentially guaranteed but protects the franchise financially should the Embiid suffer a contractually specific catastrophic injury, league sources told ESPN. Embiid, 23 years old, signed the rookie scale maximum extension Tuesday with $146.5 million total for the deal based on the NBA's new salary cap projections for the 2018-19 season. Now, to me, I think it was a good idea. I wasn't even mad that they gave him the bag. Okay, because for one, I knew that they had to have some kind of thing involved contractually about something and related to injury or inableness to play. Now, as far as them giving him that money, they understood that if they didn't give him that money, he could get it elsewhere eventually. And why not just keep a guy who's probably one of the top 5 talents, young talents in the league right now? A guy that can shoot the three. He's got a legit post game. He can finish around the rim with either hand. He's massive. The guy has to be like 7 feet, 7'1", and a good 285 plus and mobile. Okay, so he's a hard worker as well. I mean, he has a hard work ethic. He puts in. He has a drive and a love for the game and a joyfulness for the game that you want to have in one of your franchise players, man. And he's just an amazing talent. And he's actually, to me, even in the 31 game sample that they've gotten of him so far, to me, they got shown a lot of that 31 game sample, especially with minute restrictions, of the immense talent that he is. If he's able to stay healthy and they're able to get him on track to be a player that could play 35 plus minutes a game, he's easily, even with the squad and with all that talent, he's easily going to be a 25, 12, and 3 block player. Easily. Like, with hitting probably from the hitting threes, with getting in the post, with being your best front court defensive player. He's the complete total front court package in the modern day NBA, where you need a guy that can hit the 3-point shot as well. And I think a guy like him, if they can develop a proper system around a guy like him with the other talents that they got over at the 76ers, you're talking about a team that could dominate the East for the foreseeable 10 years, post LeBron. Let's just keep it real. Post LeBron. Okay? Now, going further on, for the Sixers to curve the ultimate value of the extension, it would take the triggering of several severe circumstances detailed in a 35-plus page contract. Embiid's unique career trajectory, missing his first 2 seasons with successive foot surgeries and playing only 31 games in 2016-17, created a pathway for Philadelphia's general manager Brian Colangelo, Embiid's agent Leon Rose of CAA Sports, and the National Basketball Players Association to work together on creating a complicated and creative contractual agreement. The dramatic impact of Embiid's brief but dominant debut season left him as the only rookie since Wilt Chamberlain to average at least 28.7 points per 36 minutes played. Here's how a perfect storm of calamity would have to unfold for Embiid to earn any less than the full $146.5 million across each of the final 4 seasons of the extension, ending with the 2022-23 season, which I can't even imagine that time. The 76ers would waive Embiid for a financial benefit if he lost because of a contractually agreed upon injury that causes him to miss 25 or more regular season games, and if he plays less than 1,650 minutes, league sources said. Specific injuries are laid out in the contract and include only past problem areas with Embiid's feet and back, sources said. Embiid has to miss 25 or more regular season games because of injuries in those areas and play less than 1,650 minutes for Philadelphia to have an option of releasing him from the cost savings. Now, peep this. This is what I like about the contract for Embiid. Because if, in some way, that's why the Players Association was involved. If, for some reason, Philadelphia tries to manipulate his amount of minutes he plays or the games, they have to buy out his contract, he could go and keep a portion of that money and still go to another team and get a max deal. So it's done in a way that they really can't play off of him. Really, it benefits them to play him and not worry about his minute restrictions, because you're going to get the most out of him by actually playing him. And if he's not, and if he truly does get injured and truly can't play, you can let him go. So this allows them to not manipulate him, because if they do, he can collect his portion of his bread still on the buyout clause and still re-up with another team and do his thing. And that's why I think it's a good deal financially if you're Joel Embiid coming from Cameroon. You've never seen money like this. You can take care of your family, extended family, and friends in Cameroon for the next foreseeable future. It's a no-brainer to just take the bag. Okay? All right. So, going on. The bottom of it says here, for example, if Embiid hypothetically suffered a serious knee or wrist injury, something outside the contractual injury surrounding the feet and back, the 76ers would have no avenue to waive Embiid to reclaim any portion of his salary. And that's good, because he hasn't had a problem so far with his knee or anything like that. It's really mainly the feet. And this is a big problem, because you've had other players that had problems with feet, namely like a Zydrunas Ilgauskas had feet problems early in his career. And it was bad for a while. Towards the end of his career, he actually was fairly durable, towards the last part of his career, and didn't really have those feet problems. But those things can happen when you have a player that's growing so rapidly, and he gains also a lot of mass in a short period of time. Sometimes your bones and your joints are not able to handle that weight and size and mass and force and power that comes from that. And, those things can happen, so it's understandable from a body perspective, from an anatomy perspective, of why that would happen in a guy who's a growing body, who's becoming very powerful, jumping up in a running and jumping sport. Okay? Now, continuing on. And given Embiid's rare talent, there's a belief that he'd have to suffer a career-ending injury to inspire the 76ers to release him. If Embiid met the narrow criteria and the 76ers decided to waive him after the 2018-19 season, he would receive $84.2 million of his full contract, $98.2 after the 2019-20 season, $113.3 million after the 2020-21 season, and $129.4 million after the 2021-22 season. What's more, if Embiid paid a minimum of 1,650 minutes, regular season minutes, in the 3 consecutive years during the extension, or 3 out of the 4, including the 2017-18 season, those benchmarks would eliminate the possibility of reduction in the contract, the league sources said. The first full season of Embiid's contract extension starts with the 2018-19 season and pays him $25.3 million, a salary that escalates to a standard 8.8% a year until 2022-23 season. That's something that you usually see when you see these contracts. They always go up a certain percentage each year. Okay, and then it says for Embiid to reach the threshold of the super maximum contract criteria, which would pay him 30% of his salary cap and ultimately as much as $176 million. Embiid must earn first team All-NBA honors or be voted the most valuable player in the 2017-18 season. So that is a heavy incentive for Embiid to basically go in this season and probably lead them to a playoffs. So I think that what they're going to try and do, what Philadelphia is trying to do, they have driven an incentive within Joel Embiid to basically try and dominate this year and put up, Hakeem Olajuwon-esque numbers. I'm talking about 80s Olajuwon. A lot of you guys don't know about that. I'm talking about, putting up 23 to 25 points a game and grabbing boards, 13, 14 rebounds a game, and giving you about 4 block shots and about 2 steals. That's Olajuwon 80s numbers. What you know about that? So that would definitely secure first team All-NBA. But that's very tough considering that, the front court, you do got guys like, of course, DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, if you're talking about the center power forward positions, you got DeMarcus Cousins there. You got, pretty much your boy Karl Anthony Towns. You got Anthony Davis. I mean, that's just to name a few. You got Kristaps Porzingis. So, I mean, we're talking about some very good players that potentially could be first team All-NBA by the end of the season. So, we'll see how that works for him. But again, this is all about him securing the bag. I'm not going to read the rest of it. You know what it is. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.